Welcome to the first video in a new series from the DJ podcast on how to DJ with Native Instruments Traktor Pro 2. This series will start at the very beginning and cover everything from how to set up your MIDI controller and importing your tracks, to syncing your tracks to each other and incorporating samples into your mix. This first video will show you how to set up your MIDI and audio settings, so let's jump into Traktor Pro 2 and get started. Before you can begin mixing, you need to make sure that your Soundcard and MIDI controllers are set up properly. Let's open up the preferences and start in the Audio Setup tab. You can get to the preferences by pressing this cogwheel icon up here on the top right. And we'll go to the Audio Setup tab to start. The first thing that you want to do is set your audio device to the sound card that you have connected. This could be your onboard internal sound card, an external USB or FireWire sound card, or the sound card in your mixer. You can do that by clicking on this drop-down menu here. For me, I'll choose the Audio 8 DJ. Once you have selected the correct audio device, go to the Output Routing tab on the left. Now that you have your sound card selected, it's time to tell Traktor where you want the audio from each deck to go. The first choice you have in this tab is the mixing mode, here, internal or external. If you're using a MIDI controller with your computer's built-in sound card, you probably want to choose the option of mixing internally, as this will take advantage of Traktor's built-in mixer functions. If you're going to be using Traktor with a multi-channel sound card and an external mixer, make sure that you have external selected. Traktor will automatically change the output routings to what it considers optimal, but you want to double check all of these settings to make sure that they're correct before moving on to the input routing tab. If you're using the DVS functions of Traktor Scratch Pro, or using Traktor's send effects, you want to make sure that all of your input settings are correct. It's easy to assign an audio source to an input by selecting the input from the drop-down menu. Let's move on to the Controller Manager tab and begin configuring your MIDI controller. The Controller Manager tab is where you can map commands to your keyboard and MIDI controller. If you have a supported controller like the Pioneer CDJ2000 or Native Instruments Control-X1, you can click the Add button and select it from the drop-down menu. This will load Traktor's default settings for that controller. If your controller is not on the list, you have two options. The first is to add a generic MIDI device and map the controls yourself, although this will take a while. The second is to use a TSI file that the controller manufacturer or another Traktor user has configured. To load a TSI file, click the Import button and load the TSI from your computer's hard drive. After configuring your sound card and controller, you can test to make sure everything works by looking at Traktor's top center menu bar. The circle next to Control should light up when you interact with your MIDI controller. Test this by turning a knob, pushing a button, or adjusting a fader. The icon next to Control should light up blue as well as the speaker icon to the right. At this point, your sound card and MIDI controller should be set up so that you can start your first mix. Stay tuned for more videos on how to DJ with Traktor Pro 2. And for more video tutorials, check out thedjpodcast.com. Thanks for watching.